Greetings, people. It's Jared here, Wolfgang One, back to do another Transformers review. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I reviewed Generation One Groundshaker, and I showed off a couple of figures that I used as like a reference for like all the different things you could do with the Micromaster base. And I thought to myself, do you know what? Apart from Groundshaker, I've not reviewed any Micromaster shit at all. So I thought this week I would delve into my favourite Micromaster team. Only because I had hours and hours of fun playing with these things as a kid, and I was surprised I didn't end up breaking them, quite frankly. Actually, I might have broken one of them on his arm joint. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's 35, 40 years ago. Who gives a fuck? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the review for the Autobot Micromaster Battle Patrol.
Okay, so here's the Autobot Micromaster Battle Patrol in their alt modes. Now, it's very, very rare on this channel. In fact, I think this might be the first time that I've ever reviewed 4 figures in one go. And that's the reason for that is because they came packaged together as a team. I'll give you an example of that. Let me just get these 4 out of the way and bring the camera back a little bit. The Micromasters would have been packaged like this. The carded, just like with each one can take up one of these spaces. Excuse me. This is this is just for reference. The Decepticon Racetrack Patrol. I've sealed. I've got another 2 sets of Micromasters like this. I might open them up one day and do a review, but for now, I kind of just like them. Mint and sealed card. That's the way I like them. But that's how they would have come. So these are the 4. Let's just swap these around a second. So I'm not sure who the leader of the group is supposed to be. Let me zoom in a little bit on those. There we are. I'm not sure who the group leader is supposed to be. I always made it this guy. There you are. So you've got Big Shot, Sidetrack, Sunrunner, and Flak at the end here. I'm not sure what the fuck they transform into. This is like obviously one of these anti-aircraft artillery things. That's a fucking plane of some description. That's a shooty thing, and this is also a shooty thing. Just here, a single cannon, shooty thing. So that's the way that I'm going to regard that. I'm not exactly sure of what their alt modes are supposed to be. And I always packaged them. I say packaged them. I always offset them. Played with them with the Groundshaker base, Micromaster base that I reviewed a few weeks ago. So these were probably. I'm just trying to think. Well, I think they were probably my favourite Micromasters when I was a kid. I had a couple of sets. I had the Decepticon Airstrike Patrol. I had this lot. I had a couple of the Off-Road Patrol, but not all of them. I had Mudslinger, but he came with he was repackaged as Grease Pit, so he was like Decepticon. I had a couple of others. I can't quite remember the details. I'm 43 years old, ladies and gentlemen. I'm losing my mind slowly. So we're gonna go through each one of these, do the review for all 4. Okay, so let's start off with what I think is the leader, Big Shot. Big Shot transforms into a shooty thing. And it's a very nice shooty thing. I mean, there's loads and loads of sculpted detail on this. The transformation for the Micromasters, because of how small they were, I think about 2 inches or something like that, the transformations were basic beyond basic. Really nothing to write home about whatsoever. This one has a little bit of articulation in this mode. He can spin the barrel round up to about there, and the barrel gets a full range of movement, mostly due to transformation when it goes all the way to the back. But he can go about that far, and he can go about that far in the other direction as well. Nice sculpted. Let me get that out of the way. Nice sculpted detail on the vehicle, just there. And you can obviously see that's where the access hatch would be for like a human or whatever. It's pretty cool. I quite like it. Transforming this guy is not, as I said, not difficult. No Micromaster was difficult. In fact, I think this group here had one Micromaster whose transformation was the most involved out of any Micromaster ever. And to transform this guy is very, very simple. What you do is you lift the barrel back and over to the back like that. Pull out the front section of the vehicle just like this. And then stand the fucker up. And then, well, I mean, you can move his little arms there if you want. Let me bring that up a little bit so you can see. And that's, yeah, that's it. I mean, you can have him like that if you want. If you wanted a little bit of a cleaner kibble thing, but it's supposed to go like that. Can I get a decent shot of his face there? It's all painted in blue, so you can't really see any real detail there. But that's Big Shot. The leader, what I would thought would be the leader of the group. Focus, you fuck. That'd be the leader of the group. But overall, is commanded by Groundshaker. That's the way I used to do it in my game. So that's Big Shot. Next, we'll move on to Flak. Flak is, as I said, an anti-aircraft artillery rocket-firing tank thing. Again, you've got your nice little access port just there. I did have an Autobot sticker on this at one stage. That actually, I think I still do. Yes, I was stupid enough to put one of those silver Transformer faction emblems on it, but the silver's come off. So you can just about see it there under the light. But apart from that, nothing else going on. Again, some really nice sculpted detail on this. It's pretty cool. Most of the robot is underneath, as you can see. It's got a slightly bigger head than Big Dick or whatever his name is. Articulation-wise, the most you're going to get out of this is the transformation purposes. A little bit of movement in the legs. The arms will move and that, but that's about it. Again, decent colours, mostly block green, offset with the grey and everything like that. So it's nice when it actually gets around to being transformed. This is the other thing I was going to notice, actually. So these two show a reversed colour scheme. Okay, focus, fuck. There we are. These two share a reverse colour scheme, and these two as well share a reverse colour scheme. And all the Micromasters did that. Okay. Let's take the Decepticon Battle Patrol again as a good example. So on their artwork, you'll see that these two, this one here and this one here, reverse their colours, and so do the two in the middle. And basically that's what all the Micromasters did. I never noticed that until quite recently, but then again, I'm not a very observant man, ladies and gentlemen. You might have noticed that. So let's get that a little bit more under the light. There we go. So transforming Flak is not at all difficult either. What we do is we pull out these back sections just here, put it all the way to the front, straighten it out. You can see actually that the pin there is a little bit rusty. Focus. So the pin's a little bit rusty there. Actually on both sides, whatever. And then we bring back the front section all the way to the back, and then stand him up, and then that is Flak right there. As I said, his arms will move like that. You can see his arms on the inside of the tank treads, and his legs will move a little bit, but that pin is really rusted through, so I don't tend to do that too often. But yeah, that's Flak. Again, another cool little figure. Most of the Micromaster figures, unless they were repainted for a base or anything like that, most of them were individual designs that never got repainted into anything. So these are quite unique Transformers, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Flak right there as well. Next, we're going to move on to Sidetrack. Sidetrack is a double shooty thing. Thank you. Yes, I know my descriptions are fucking top notch, aren't they? T, ladies and gentlemen. T is life. He's a, I don't know, a sidewinder shoot. I don't know, anti-aircraft gun thing again. I don't know. He's a shooty thing, and that's all really that matters. Again, if he was being occupied by humans, there's your little access hatch right there. Again, some really nice sculpted detail on him. Tank treads and all the rest of it. Again, this one has a very unique transform. Unless they were vehicles, like sort of most of the vehicle transformers shared Flak's transformation, which is pull back the back to form the legs, flip back the hood to form whatever. But some of these had very similar transformations, but all their designs are really unique, and that's, I think, one of the things that allows the Micromaster line its longevity. Is the fact that they all were like sort of quite individual little bots, which is fucking brilliant. It's a shame they didn't do that sort of in the early stages of G1, really, but I appreciate that they were trying to bump out the line with repaints and everything. The Decepticon Seekers are the biggest casualties of that. As transform this guy, again, not difficult. Bring these guns all the way back to the back. Bring the front section of the vehicle out, and straighten it out. Stand the fucker up, and then lift this section down. That forms his little chest. Arms don't really move that much because of the these back weapons just here. You can have them down as facing like little rocket boosters or something like that. That'll give the arms a little bit more range of movement, but not a massive amount. Again, yeah, he's pretty cool for what he is. He's got a nice little sculpted face, all painted in block red. Would be nice to pick out the eyes, but I do appreciate these toys are quite old. So yeah, so that's Sidetrack right there. And then lastly, we come on to probably, which is my favourite of the four. This is Sunrunner. Sunrunner transforms into a plane with 3 massive fucking missiles on the back of it. I thought these little things here were supposed to be guns. They're not. They're obviously propellers. But as a kid, I wasn't that smart. These 3 massive missile launchers, which must make it very, very difficult to get off the ground. Sadly, my one's a little dirty. I have tried cleaning this up, but the dirt has got into the sculpted molded detail in that, which kind of makes it look panel lined and that, which is kind of cool. But I can't clean it up any more than I have done. Yeah, and this is the one with possibly the most unique transformation out of any Micromaster that I think is the most steps that I can think of off the top of my head anyway. And to do it, basically, I mean, he's a lovely little plane for what he is. But there's just something about this one in particular that stands out as my favourite. Maybe it's the transformation, I don't know. But to do it, what we do is we will pull out the back of the plane like this. So far, your standard sort of Micromaster thing. Okay. Then we're going to fold back these wings like that. That makes a perfect tidy little backpack. No kibble there really. Bring down these tiny little green sections for his arms like that, and then bring the nose cone forward to make his chest. And there we have Sunrunner in robot mode, and it's a decent little robot mode. It really is. I can't find anything to complain with about that at all. Again, face painted a block red, but for some reason he is my favourite of the 4. I mean, I love the set in general. I really do. Let's bring them all out together. So we've got these 2, these ones. In fact, let's put them together with the inverted colours. There we are. That's it. Straighten up, you fuck. Right, okay, I'm just going to have to bend you forward just a little bit then. Get you to stand up. There we are. And then I'd say Big Shot is the one that has trouble... Oh, you fuck off. Has trouble standing the most is Big Shot because of his back kibble, how heavy he is. But that is the Autobot Battle Patrol. And they're a great little team, ladies and gentlemen. They really are. The Transformers G1 line was like sort of starting to phase out by the time they came around to Micromasters and that. But the playability value, especially with the little bases and everything like that, these guys were, for me, a very, very welcome addition to the overall G1 line. I had hours and hours, untold hours of fun fucking around with these lot. I really did. So yeah, definitely one I would recommend if you're collecting Micromasters or oddities from the G1 line. This is where it's starting to get into like sort of proper oddity area. You know, thinking you couldn't surpass the Pretenders, but here we are. So yeah, if you're after something a little bit G1 and a little bit weird, Micromasters are definitely filling that criteria for me. And for me, this was out of all the Micromasters I did have, this was my favourite set. Because there's something about them that was just like very, very unique for what they were. So yeah, that's my review on them, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching this review. This is Gerard Gavin Barry, also known as Wolfgang1. Saying I'll be back next week with another review, other stuff on my channel. I don't know what's on my channel these days and what isn't. I mean, I'm recording this about 5 weeks in advance, so I've got no idea by the time this goes out what's on my channel or what isn't. But I do hope whatever is on there you're enjoying. I dare say I had a great time recording it and uploading it. So thank you for watching this. I'll be back next week. Until we see each other again, thank you and take care. And when tomorrow comes, I feel you laying by me, like you ain't got nowhere else to go.